Hi, welcome to episode 4 of an introduction to the North Queensland Phoenix Dragon Boat Stroke. In this video, what I want to establish is how we get from here to here. So far in the videos we've talked about the entry, the catch, the drive, and how to come out of the water. So now we're trying to get from out of the water back to the center. So we know we finish here in the water, and we know that we get out of the water by taking this bottom elbow up and away from the boat, and this top arm just goes where it's told to go. 9 times out of 10, that is going to be that from the elbow down to the fingertips is going to come in towards the body, and that elbow is going to lift up. So finish the power phase, pick it up. So from here, the really important thing to mark in your mind is where your elbow is, because from this point, the elbow remains at exactly the same height the whole way through. So there's a couple of stages to get back to there. So we call this stage 1 of the return. This is 2, 3, and 4. So we've already gone through stage 1. Stage 2 is just about getting the body back square, and as that happens, the body also comes down. So we know we've finished behind square in our stroke. We've come up, we have not yet moved forward. So remember, elbow. This elbow is going to go forward, and my body is going to follow it and come down until I get to square. Elbow forward, take the body. So I'm now square. So if you check the angle here, you can see the angle of the paddle is at about 45 degrees. The wrist is not yet at the height of the elbow, and hopefully what I did then was, as I came around, I also came down with the body. That's what we call stage 2. 1, 2. The next stage, again, it's with the elbow. So the elbow keeps that height and just keeps coming forward, and as it does, this wrist, the bottom wrist, just will naturally come up to meet the elbow. At the same time, see, at this stage my wrist is down, pointing down, or forward rather, so the paddle is down. Same thing here. But obviously when I enter the water, when I'm on my setup, that wrist, so the back side of my hand, the wrist will be facing the camera or facing the shore. 1, 2. So on 3, elbow comes forward, wrist will naturally come up to meet the elbow, and the wrist is going to twist back into its natural position of facing the shore. So we're aiming for wrist, elbow, shoulder, all aligned. 1, 2, 3. So the next question is, well, what does that top hand do? It doesn't do anything. It just goes where the paddle tells it to go. Because if you watch it, I'll do everything without that top hand. 1, 2, 3. So it just holds on. A really common mistake is that people will lift up this top hand, and they'll end up doing the return like this. Right? We don't want that. If you're the only person doing that, you will be out of time. We need to all be doing the same thing. So we've gotten to stage 3. There's actually 4 stages of the return though. So 1, 2, 3. Then there's a 4th stage. So the 4th stage and the entry are kind of a blurred line. They're almost the same thing. On the 4th stage, I'm going to go from here in stage 3. I'm going to take the body down, but I'm going to keep this where it is, so that my cheekbone ends up pretty much next to my bicep. That's 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Just be very careful on stage 4 that we don't hunch over. We always want that back to be nice and straight. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I will look like for the person at the back, for whoever's steering, or if you're watching from the back of the boat, it will create this illusion that when we're at the top of the stroke, at this position, it will look like the top hand does nothing and sort of hangs there for half a second. It doesn't, it actually goes forward. 1, 2, 3, watch my top hand, 4. It stays where it is in terms of height, but it goes forward. So a lot of timing issues will come from people getting to stage 3 and going straight into the water and rushing. Just because we get to that point does not mean it's time to go into the water. We have one more stage to go, which is that. So the return. 1, we're going to square up, which is 2. 3, elbow is going to come forward, wrist is going to come up. Wrist is also going to realign so that the back side of my hand is towards the shore. So 3, 4. A lot of people will say that, or even in our own minds, that we want to get the length by really throwing this outside shoulder forward, or there's a temptation to really reach with the arms, with the hand. It actually comes from the elbow up, and if I move that elbow forward, there it is. Up, around, wrist comes up to meet the elbow. That elbow is the same height throughout the whole of the stroke. So that's the constant. The reason it looks like it comes up is because the body's coming down. So elbows up, I'm coming through, body's coming down, elbows remaining at the same height, then I'm there.